Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Football Amigos show. It's your boy Mide, and yes, the boys are back in town. It is awesome, and it feels great to have our other amigos back with us today. Like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about Game 24 and how that played out. Of course, some awesome results. All of our three teams. You have Ayo from an Arsenal perspective, which he's in the clouds right now, enjoying himself top of the table. You have Liverpool that has finally steadied the ship, and the ship is actually sailing now. It's not double ankles and it's dragging on the sea. They're actually swimming. And United, we are flying. We're not on the road. We're not on the sea. We're in air. We're flying. We are absolutely flying. Again, I know I was teasing me off camera, amigos. I'm not saying we're back. What I'm saying is
We
we
are
are
so back.
resurrecting. We are resurrecting.
Like the Phoenix.
Resurrected. Amigos, like, share, subscribe, of course. But yes, it's good to have you back. Ayo, how have you been? Where have you been, sir? We have missed you. Where have you been?
I've longing to be here. That's where I've been. I've been wanting to be back on the show. No,
That's
just a lot of. I don't know if you're all aware of where we are in the south. There's been a lot of winter storms, and people are adjusting to those conditions. And you hear about things happening, and it's you always assume it's going to happen to someone else, and then it feels like all of the symptoms are happening to you, and you having to adjust. But suffice to say, there was no internet, no power, so I couldn't join you guys. But now we have some sense of normalcy, and so I'm excited to be with you guys chatting. I will say one thing though. Silver lining, I wasn't able to watch the Arsenal Man United game,
yeah,
so
sure, sure.
I'm good. I'm good. Like I don't I wasn't that game postponed?
No, it wasn't. It
It was
wasn't. It
postponed, right?
was.
It didn't
No,
happen. So
we won 3-2. That's what happened.
no. I have to check my sources. I didn't see it myself, so I don't think it actually happened. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
it's just
Sam,
hearsay.
yeah, hearsay. Sure. Sam, how are you doing today, sir?
It's good to have Hayo back. It's good to have you there as well. With all of this power stuff, my internet sucks.
Nah, no, it's all good. We'll push through. We'll push through. Internet is was
Media, I think Sam is just gathering his thoughts. Just let him think about
yes,
what
that is
is.
true.
It's,
That's
it's,
true.
it's, a, it's a very deep thought, guys. I'm sure by the time
Yeah,
he comes back, he'll unload a
absolutely.
lot of
That's
wisdom.
what
You see,
that's
you
what
see,
Liverpool does.
see now he's smiling because he's like, oh my god,
I can hear you guys. I cannot hear
I
you
have
guys.
a winner for them.
Unfortunately for me.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
that's okay, Sam. That's okay.
Unfortunately.
But yes, no,
Uh,
Sam. It looks like Liverpool are back on their feet. Ayo, it's
oh my
interesting. Last
days
week,
at all.
I was talking to Sam about just how Liverpool have kind of stood back up and steadied
Hmm.
the ship. It looks to me that Arne Slot has finally settled on specific
Absolutely.
players. It seems to me that
Yes.
he has given for Invert some room and freedom to kind of roam. He has still kept Salah on the right side, but I think what's actually happening now is he's having him go into the box, and then he's having one of his midfielders take that position if he goes further. So again, recent results has been good, of course. What are your thoughts from a Liverpool standpoint? Like, do you see them continuing that trajectory to keep moving forward, or you should see some you should see some bumps in the road? Because the rumor I'm hearing now from Liverpool's perspective, I'd love to hear what Sam has to say as well. Xavi Alonso's kind of waiting.
To get the job.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that'll be premature. Um, I honestly think, I didn't expect them to stay bad the entire season. Whenever I was saying this, I was like, it's going to take a while to right the ship. The question now is if they can right it in time to qualify for the Champions League, because the Premier League title was beyond them at that point, and the question is if they would figure out everything they needed to do to win. Um, I think Slot is a phenomenal coach. Slot's a phenomenal manager. I think Liverpool are doing what they always intended to do. Um, they probably wanted to do it have a more seamless transition, but the Premier League is full of sharks, and so if you're not on your A game, you're full of blood, you're going to get bit or hurt really badly. But the goal was always a dynamic front two, a diamond midfield, and which provides space for the kind of wing backs, well, sort of those Frimpong and Kirkus that they actually acquired. Still trying to figure that central defense pairing and that holding midfielder question that still has to be refined because they can still be got through with direct play. However, they've come to a sense of keeping things really tight. That diamond midfield really matters a lot because now you have midfield overloads and you have very good technical players in close proximity to each other. So even if they can't create a lot of chances in the game, they can retain a lot of control and stop the kind of basketball games that they've been going through that has been allowing a lot of teams to hurt them. And so Slot has done a lot really well. I watched the Liverpool Arsenal game, the level of control and cohesion that they have, even though it didn't lead to a lot of threat, but there's a level of fluidity and cohesion that has started creeping into their game that is very promising. The question now is, the Premier League might not be on the line, but I mean, all the other cups are in play in terms of the FA Cup and the Champions League. That seems very doable because in a knockout competition, you just have to be the best over the stretch of two games. You don't have to be better over the course of a season. You just have to beat them in the head-to-head. And that's one thing I think that Liverpool can do to any team that is still remaining. So the Champions League is still to go. The question now is if they can keep up with a resurgent Man United for the Champions League spots or, just be better than Aston Villa and Chelsea.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the top five race is definitely on and firing, amigos. I know you have amigos of different other fans like Chelsea, Aston Villa. It's very interesting to see how that competition is. Sam, we're glad you're back. I and I were talking about just the resurgence of Liverpool and their recent results. Of course, Liverpool winning Newcastle 4-1 in the last Premier League game for game 23. The fact that they've now bought a centre back from France, Jacquet, I think that's his name. Do you think Liverpool now has what they need to be able to push forward and solidify that Champions League position and maybe go for the cups? Or do you feel like there's still some more room to grow with the team? Talking about top four and top five is, kind of wrapping up with Liverpool. They about to play their game 24 against Man City. I mean, because this game is going to be on a Sunday, and Man City is playing away, so Liverpool's playing at Anfield. From a prediction standpoint, Ayo, Man City they are on a very unusual position this season, and then with the players they've bought this January um, in Semenyo and Guehi to solidify defense and attack on the left side. And then, of course, Liverpool buying the defender Jake to solidify their centre back if they need help there. How do you see this game playing out? Do you see, because if I was going to predict this game 2-2, I'm thinking 2-2 from a neutral perspective. But and Sam, I would love to hear your thoughts to wrap for Liverpool. Ayo, can Man City push aside Liverpool based on their recent form?
Um, I mean, whenever we had the reverse fixture earlier, I was very confident that Man City was going to beat Liverpool and beat them very convincingly, and that came to be the case. This one, I don't know. This is a different Liverpool. This is a Liverpool that can suck the energy out of a team by just keeping control. And this is a Man City that has lost a lot of its spine in terms of solidity at the back. We're starting to see what we saw last season, which they controlled to a greater effectiveness at the earlier part of the season, but they can be played through. and they can be played through by almost any team. And with all the defensive injuries that they have, they don't really have the players that can cover large amounts of spaces. Think someone like Vadio in terms of a counter attack. They don't have the structure that can repel pressure as much anymore. And so, you saw the game with Man United, which was a revelation. It was kind of weird to watch that Man City could not control that game. And then the Kairat was just astounding in just how Man
Yeah,
City
Karabakh,
lost
Champions League.
control.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3-1 that they lost flattered them. If you watch that game, that actually flattered Man United. It could have been 5-1. Man City, sorry, it could have been 5-1. And so, in those conditions, if Kairat can do that to you in this period, you dropped the ball against Tottenham, which, I don't want to be a hater, but, they're fighting for relegation, and rightly so. Um,
With the 2-2 draw against Man City, Tottenham.
Relegation battle with Burnley and Wolves. I'm kidding. That's too harsh. But I feel like Liverpool will put goals behind them, and I'm not
Oh,
confident that Man City can respond in kind.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
if I was going to say the bias is towards Liverpool winning,
How many goals would you predict?
2-1, 3-1
2-1, 3-1.
to
Wow,
yeah, yeah.
wow.
It's the defensive showings have been so chaotic, so disorganized, and so easy to play through. And I think Liverpool reached that technical level to punish them.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Sam,
or
yeah, go
maybe Kerkez is still that guy, and Semenyo eats like crazy.
ahead. Yeah, yeah, because to your point, that means if Semenyo goes to the right, Kirkers plays as left back. Yeah, there will be that
Yeah, that,
battle.
that that's the matchup they want to exploit.
Mm.
I also think Doku and Frimpong is very favorable to Doku too.
Yeah, because yeah. Well, and Frimpong isn't Frimpong injured, Sam?
Is he injured?
I
So
thought he was.
yeah, you're right. So it'd be Slobosly.
He'll be yeah.
Okay, that's a better matchup. Yeah, that's a more even matchup. Yeah.
Sam, do you feel the same way with Liverpool against Man
Slightly,
City this weekend?
slightly, but well, maybe not slightly. When you look at it, the strong side of the reason why I think Liverpool has a high chance of winning this one is because our strong side right now. Right now, both teams are shaky right now, terribly shaky teams. Our strong side, uh, coming against their weak side is not. It's not looking good for them. Liverpool is good in attack right now. Our attack is on point. There's that connection. Uh, and Man City, despite having Gary, is not looking good in defense, right? Um, so naturally, that could cause them problems. We also have to think about it. They have players like Holland. They still have some big machines. Semenya is on fire. So, and that's the problem for us. Our defense is not the greatest. Man City, they got the attacking, spines and all of that. They're just not finding that connection right now. I don't know if it's the newness that is coming to them, like the newness of the players for some of the players, but my prediction is actually a 2-2 or 1-1. But if I were to take bias off and look at things on paper, I think Liverpool comes out, with a 1-0 win in this game. It's going to be a tight one, so unpredictable, honestly. And Man City can turn it off because they've been beaten so bad lately and just decided to want to do crazy things at Anfield. But
I
the
will say,
question is,
the did you see the first goal? Tottenham's first goal,
Uh, I saw both. The first one,
where the guy kicks through Guehi.
the
yes,
yeah, I saw that.
I don't get the PGMOL, but you know that goal was kind of unfortunate. It was, I think it should have been ruled as a foul, and it led Tottenham back into a game that Man City were controlling exquisitely till then. And so, maybe the discourse about the demise of Man City might be premature, but I think the Kairat game spoke volumes. Yeah. Mhm.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Amigos, like, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about Liverpool's recent form. Of course, winning their last game against Newcastle 4-1, and about to play one of their toughest games of the season against Man City on Sunday. Liverpool playing at home. I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful game for the neutrals to watch. Switch gears to Arsenal. Ayo, we've missed you, of course. Welcome back. While you were gone, Arsenal were soul searching a little bit, especially in front of goal. And this happened with United beating them in their home 3-2. It was elation. There was limbs, even in this house, there was limbs thrown around, right? And then the question started to come up: is it the same Arsenal that we saw last season? Same thing happened with them this season. And then moving on to the reaction of their previous game, beating Leeds comfortably 4-0, and again realizing, okay, he made some changes. I know there's some injuries that have come up, unfortunately. And then your next game playing against Sunderland, it definitely isn't going to be the same thing as Leeds. Sunderland are a very good team. They're very solid. They may not have the quality in terms of players, but they play as a unit. Do you feel like, and of course, Arsenal winning Chelsea today in the Carabao Cup to get into the final, do you feel like, again, Arsenal is showing that, yes, there might be bumps in the road, but they are the Arsenal. They will find ways to win. Players that are coming back. Havertz had a good game today as well. There are players that can take the mantle if he needs to. And they, again, this is the key here, Ayo, which I would love to hear your thoughts. Has that maturity moved them to the next level where they can actually become champions?
Only time will tell about the champions. I think the conversation about Arsenal it's a little bit weird, but it won't change till they win something. That's just a matter of fact. There's no way to like debate it until because the usual refrain is will they bottle it? That's just the conversation, and that's just not going to happen until you win a trophy. Which is why I'm elated that they beat Chelsea over two legs in the League Cup because it allows them to put that question away very early before the critical moments in the FA Cup, in the Premier League, and in the Champions League, which just get that conversation changed and have them start being regarded more as champions elect. In terms of the performance over the last few weeks, it's a hard league, and
Hmm.
they're playing. Well, I mean, 8 games in the last like month or so, or something ridiculous. When we played Man United, like we played, went to Italy to play San Siro in the San Siro on Tuesday, and then you're getting ready for that kind of intensity that Man United brings, and we just couldn't manage the moments. There are two world class strikes. You
United, United,
you allow.
United. I'm
I
done.
mean, yeah. I mean, like I'm happy. It's gonna be the highlight of your season, so I'm proud of you.
Oh, there we go. I was counting on when that was coming. We still beat you, sir. We still
um, 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 it was a spirited and very encouraging performance that shows that maybe Man United have a platform to do something great, and I wish them the best in the coming games and future seasons. But back to Arsenal. But back to Arsenal, it's just an understanding that there always be twists and turns. There's always going to be challenges. We're in a league where any team can hurt you. So we're going to Sunderland, where it's like Sunderland by all means could beat Arsenal, and it won't be surprising. It won't be a shock. And so you can't control everything, but you have to move on really, really fast. And so there is no time to like relax. There is no time to be like sulk. You just have to like pick yourself up and like go to the next challenge. And I think that overall, I'm very proud of how Arsenal have seen this season. The Champions League performance, I think that's 8-8. Very respectable. We're the only team to win all the games. Our performance in Europe is very is much to be admired. You speak about the League Cup, how we've done so far, the teams we've seen off, how professionally we saw off Chelsea. Like that has to be admired under the conditions. And if we keep playing this way, I see no reason why we shouldn't win the Premier League. The question now is, cups are a very different animal.
Mhm.
And in cups, there are going to be moments of chaos, moments that go out of control. And the question now is, how can you manage those situations in such a way that you get to finals and you win those finals? And so that's still much to be discovered about these guys, but so far it is very, very promising. Yeah. One thing I did like is the reporter was interviewing Arteta, and he was asking him about just how good it would be to win the League Cup, which would be the first cup. I think Arteta's won in 6 years. First final in 6 years. And Arteta just said, we have a Premier League game against Sunderland this weekend. That's all that matters. And it's just the fact that his ability to, not just in terms of how he communicates to the fans and the media, but how he communicates to his team is just a relentless focus on the next game. And that's a good attitude to have. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. That's fair. That's fair. Amigos, like, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about the Arsenal Sunderland game and the consistency of Arsenal this season, and can they dare to win two or more trophies this season? Like Ayo said, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Speaking about time, it's time to dance, United fans. The sun is shining at Old Trafford. And I'll leave it at that. The sun is shining at Old Trafford again, and there's a lot of overcast clouds. There was a lot of clouds covering Old Trafford, and the sun was trying to shine in, but the clouds were just covering the sun. But then all of a sudden, the clouds just opened up, and there's just this awe moment where the sunlight just hits Old Trafford, and then in theater of dreams, we're all dreaming again, right? We dreamt that we're going to beat Man City, and we did 2-0, clubbing five. Okay, we thought it was a fluke, and then the sun started to shine even brighter, right? We had Arsenal. We went to Arsenal's home and beat them, right? We beat them again, 3-2. And we're like, okay, maybe it's just because it's the top teams. Let's see how he handles against Fulham. Fulham was interesting. We scored two. Okay, we had a penalty. It was the right call. A worldie of a goal by Kevin, which, by the way, amigos, remember I mentioned he was one of my players to watch in a couple of weekends ago. See what I mean? He's a very good player. Keep watching him. But then we find a way to still win the game. You know, is Fergie time back? And United might not be back 100%, but I don't know. Looks like Fergie time is back a little bit. Same thing happened with Arsenal at the Emirates. And it looks to me that Ayo, Sam and I talked about this last week, and he asked me, "What do you think Carrick has done that has changed the trajectory of Man United?" And I told him one word: simplicity. That's it. He has come in, he has made things simple. He has a backroom staff that actually coach these boys. He is reminding them of the United way again, which is wing play. It is keeping possession. It is going gung ho and getting the results, regardless of whoever you're playing. That's who we are. And when he's in front of the media, he's very calm and tapered. He doesn't go above, he doesn't make it about himself. He makes it about the team. Again, qualities of the coach that we like to see. Now, I don't necessarily credit Ineos for this, to be honest with you, because again, it shows to me that there's an issue with decision making with that board. However, I'm glad Kaik has come in to steady the ship. Again, I'm still curious to see his next four games. Tottenham this weekend coming up after we beat Fulham 3-2 at home. We are playing Tottenham at 6:30 this Saturday. That's going to be a test because Tottenham right now, yes, I just said they're fighting relegation. I agree. However, there's something about them where they're very unpredictable, right? In my mind, I can see United winning that game 2-1 or 2-0, and I think they should be fine. It's sad that we're gonna miss Dogo till April. I think he was actually freely finding form. But having the likes of Cunha and Umbremo and Ahmad and Sesko now coming from the bench, we didn't buy anyone that we should have bought this transfer window for a midfielder. However, we have players that if you explain to them simply what they need to do, they will do it, as you've seen. The question becomes, can he have control over games against teams that are not in the top five? Because clearly we have a clear blueprint now where we sit back, absorb the counter, and then we counter ourselves to get a win against the top teams. It works, right? It's very straightforward, very simple. We go from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-2-5, right? And then we attack and we use the wing play and we get the goals. The question becomes now is he's playing Tottenham. How is he going to fare? Then he plays West Ham, and then his two other games are not against the top four teams. If he continues the way he's going, do we even mention this conversation about permanence? Or do we just say, hey, finish the season and then we will review after the season is over? That's what I would do. Just finish out the season, get us Champions League. That's the goal. Again, simple. Just get Champions League. That's it. That's all we ask for. And then we'll review at the end of the season. I can see Tottenham winning that game 2-1. But Ayo and Sam, I would love to hear your thoughts to wrap us up today. Ayo, do you think United is back? Because I'm not going to say it. But do you think they're back? Or do you feel like they need to show if they're truly back over the next 5 games?
We are so back. In the words of T'Challa, I am not dead yet.
That's awesome.
Like everything, Midday, only time will tell if Man United are back. One big improvement is nice to have a manager that's media trained, and it shows, and he keeps the temperature down, and he doesn't say too much, and so he lets everybody else talk, and I guess the games do the talking. I would say this: if there's one game Man United has always been able to play, is sitting back and countering. Whenever you brought in Alexander Solskjaer, that's how you went on the run in the Champions League, and otherwise, when you brought in Ten Hag initially, that's what he did. It even Ruben Amorim, like I personally think that the performance that we're seeing from Man United, I think, has been on a high level for a while. The only thing that made sure that allowed for dips was the fact that they still concede a lot of goals. You look at they've scored the third most in the Premier League, but they've conceded really, really high numbers. And so when you're conceding that amount of goals, you drop points. That's just period. Also, they lost all the African players to AFCON, as well as Fernandez getting injured. You lose all that thrust, and all you have left is Cunha and Sesko. You just drop performance. Without the industry that's afforded to them with Ahmad, with especially with I forget your striker's name.
Tesco, Xerxes.
No, I'm sorry. I guess his name is Mbuemo. Sorry. The industry they get with them, how they can pull teams apart with their movement and their intensity. Then the performances drop. So the question now is, if you're playing a team that's just comfortable to sit back, and it's promised to do to you what you're willing, what you want to do to others, then can they manage those games and win convincingly? It's only time will tell. I would say I've not seen anything so far that is we're back. They're in a good spell. They've been on several good spells this season. Their results are very similar to Liverpool when they started this season, where they were having moments of magic. Those moments of and they were getting them over the line. The question now is, will those half chances that you turn into spectacular points keep coming? And then if not, what's the game model? And so we'll see what Kyrie can do. We'll see what their back four can do. I will say it's nice to see a lot of their defenders back, and to see their defenders in terms of the Argentinian. I forget the butcher. I forget his name.
Martinez,
Martinez back, the butcher back. Shaw seems to have some kind of some form in him and some fitness in him to play as a left back.
walk up
Sorry.
year. That's why it's walk up year. Whenever it's walk
Yeah,
up
I
year
mean,
or
I
Euros,
think he's great. I think he's a nailed-on starter for England. I think he's a great player. He just doesn't stay fit like Reece James. So the question now is if he can keep his fitness. I like him. I don't think. I think if he plays, regardless of World Cup or not, I think Shaw at a technical standard is very high. I say it's hard to see, and so only time will tell. They have Tottenham. I don't rate Tottenham. And I know I'm saying this with a North London derby coming in a few weeks, but I don't rate them. They disappoint me. I think they run out of ideas very fast. If you don't play an open game, I think Man City kind of somehow managed to snatch a draw from the jaws of victory, and I don't think Man United would be that naive. Yeah.
no, that's absolutely fair. Sam, United playing Tottenham this weekend. Which players do you think can turn the tide for United to win this game?
I think all the players in the front, um, even midfield, can get in the fun. I say fun because Tottenham is so unpredictable. Not because Haya doesn't like them, but it's just the fact. Um, because I don't even know where they are on the table right now. You would think Liverpool suck. We've been terrible lately. Tottenham is just quietly terrible. They'll just be somewhere in the table, and you don't even know what's up with them. But back to your question, I mean, United is, in my own opinion, they have a slightly more than a moment. Um, what that means is this, this Carrick newness thing. I think, however, I also think the players they're doing what they love. They're playing the right position. Carrick is using them properly. Um, the reason I said that all the front line all the front men guys can destroy Tottenham is because Mboma is in his form. Ahmad is in his form right now. Even Sesko is just he just has a different way of every minute he's gotten in on the carry the highlights that I've seen. He just has a different way of positioning himself. I think the coaching there's a little bit of coaching coming in now rather than just do what I ask you to. I'm not a big fan of them firing Amaran. Whenever they fired him, I think they should have let him finish. But you can see the difference in the players. I think they're in the positions they want, they're playing the style they want. Of course, the formation is different. So Tottenham is in for they don't get roasted. Honestly, I believe that with all. I know this is the game that I can predict. Tottenham is not get roasted. Man, Man United. Fernando injured, so I just see Man United not destroying Tottenham right now because that I've shared. Yeah, the formation players on points, and they are game time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I mentioned too, only time will tell. But amigos, we're very excited about this weekend. I hope you have a wonderful one. Enjoy those games. They're going to come thick and fast. United is playing Tottenham on Saturday, 6:30. That's our kickoff game, of course, for the weekend. And then you have Arsenal playing Liverpool. Sorry, Arsenal playing Sunderland on Saturday, and then you have Liverpool playing Man City on Sunday. So we have packed a load of amazing fixtures to come for game week 25. I think it's going to be very exciting to see how those results play out and to see the race for the top six and see who moves up or who moves down based on their recent performances. So the Premier League is definitely heating up, and we're excited to be part of that with you all. And of course, amigos, like, share, and subscribe. Those are your thoughts about all that we've talked about today, or If your team wasn't mentioned, please let us know your team and what you think their performance were. But to the next content, we'll see you all soon. As always, stay positive. Take care, guys.